Okay, we're county executives. We have one candidate running for the Democratic ticket for county executive. Please welcome Mr. Wayne Tone. We have four candidates running in the Republican primary for county executive. We have Mr. Joe Carabetta, Mr. Greg McDonald, Dr. Alan McCarthy, Mr. Dan Steckenberg. We had a secret random drawing in the chamber office. Belinda, who is a new member of the staff, didn't know what she was drawing, but I said, draw these four numbers out of the hat. And Bonnie Grady was my witness that we followed this very scientific process. The order of questioning this evening is going to go 1, 3, 2, 4. Mr. Carabetta, Dr. McCarthy, Mr. McDonald, Mr. Steckenberg. But you'll see that they'll rotate through and everyone will come to the top. But if you're wondering why we skipped Mr. McDonald on, we didn't skip him. That's the order of it. Each of you now has 2 minutes to provide, introduce yourself to the audience, why you're running, what are your priorities, what are your credentials to be county executive of Cecil County, and we'll start with Mr. Carabetta.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to this event here tonight. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, all you for coming out, and most importantly, the veterans of this country who've given us this right in this republic to gather here and speak freely. I'm running for Cecil County Executive because I feel I have the best skill set to do this job. I spent 34 years doing essentially project management where I built my own budgets. I was responsible for facilities. I was responsible for vehicles, responsible for people. And this was done, and also, most importantly, I built business because unlike a lot of other government agencies, the agency I worked for was a reimbursable agency, which we had to bring in work. So I know how to recruit work and bring work to this county. I have an engineering degree from Pennsylvania State University. I also did some advanced study work at an Army training facility in Texarkana, where I met my lovely wife, Diane, and we've been a team for a long time, and those of you that know us, we work hard. I will work very hard for this county and be dedicated to the task at hand. And I think my major priorities is we have to get businesses going. If we don't get business going, the residential income from the property tax cannot pay for it, the revenue stream. So we have to get business going, and to that end, I'm proposing phasing out the business personal property tax. I also limited my campaign funds to $100. I am not controlled by any special interest. And I look forward to the debate tonight and look forward to discussions in the future, and I thank you again.
Dr. McCarthy.
Good evening and thank you for coming. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum. I'm Alan McCarthy. I'm a common sense conservative. I am campaigning to be your next county executive. In general, I prefer fairer taxes, sensible regulations, and leaner government and good job creation. I'm a retired veterinarian that lives in Cecil County for 35 years. I'm vice president of the Cecil County Council. I sit as your delegate at MACO, the Maryland Association of Counties, and represent Cecil County and state issues. On the private side, I've been the treasurer and fund manager for Cecil College Foundation for over 8 years. We basically raise funds and provide scholarships to many worthwhile students in Cecil County. I've been honorably discharged from the United States Armed Forces. I've earned a bachelor's degree from Maryland and a doctorate from the University of Georgia. I've used my education, my skills, and my initiatives to build 5 businesses, all very successfully. Unlike the other candidates, I'm self-made and a self-employed businessman who knows how to run a business, knows how to raise money, balance a budget, and invest for the future. I've worked hard my entire life, and if elected, I'll continue to do so. I am convinced that Cecil County's better days lie ahead, and I know the issues and the challenges facing Cecil County. As a county executive, my goals would be to move Cecil County forward into the 21st century. The goals will be accomplished by these initiatives. 1, providing public safety by supporting law enforcement, create an environment that encourages economic growth, create an efficient, effective local government, create a better educated citizenry and a 21st century workforce, and finally make Cecil County a preferred location for new and existing businesses to grow. In conclusion, I am the most qualified candidate here, and I have the skill sets, the vision, and the qualities to take Cecil County forward. Thank you.
Mr. McDonald.
Hello and welcome this evening. I want to thank the Chamber for putting this on and allowing us the opportunity to share our thoughts with you. I've always been interested in politics, but it was primarily at the state and federal level. I never really paid much attention to what was happening in Elkton until about 8 or 10 years ago. And I began to recognize that the decisions that are made in Elkton have at least as big of an impact as the decisions that are made in Annapolis and Washington, D.C. My apologies, I'm a little nervous. As I began to pay close attention, I recognized that the current commission system, there was a lot of entrenched people. And I began to support first one candidate and then another candidate. And we've had a revolving door on the commission and now the council for the last several election cycles. As I began to look around for the next candidate to support, with the exception of Delegate Hornberger, who decided not to run, I didn't see anyone. I didn't see anyone who I thought was going to be the candidate I wanted to support. I bring an experience of, from private industry, negotiated contracts that's brought millions of dollars into W.O. Moore & Associates, created service agreements and customer service to internal and external, my apologies, man, my words are just not coming out. Practice this thing too, promise. Let me go off script a little bit. Creation of interpersonal relationships.
Mr. Schneckenberger.
Thank you, Carl. Good evening. I am Dan Schneckenberger, resident of Fair Hill in District 3. I want to thank the Cecil County Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity to talk to you this evening. I am married to Christine. We have a daughter, Anastasia. She'll be 17 this year. I originally grew up in Delaware. I moved here, went to University of Delaware and relocated to Cecil County in 1989. I moved here mainly because of the natural beauty of the county, and I've always loved living here. I'm running for this office because I believe that I have the best skill set, motivation, and plan to move Cecil County forward. My plan is to emphasize economic development from the top down, as growing new sources of revenue is the only way we'll be able to fund our priorities now and in the future. I am committed to reorganizing our county government to get more efficiencies and improve customer service, and to make it a top priority to bring investment, more jobs, and commercial growth in the county. Over the last 15 years, I've developed a unique and experienced set of knowledge from private business and public service that gives me confidence that we can execute this vision now. We cannot continue to have budgets that put pressure on the existing taxpayer or a balance from our fund reserves. My administration will be a friend and advocate to those individuals and companies that believe investing in Cecil County is an excellent decision. I continue to believe Cecil County has great potential, and I want to help realize this. I've served on County Council since 2014 when I'm the liaison for the Economic Development Commission and the Maryland-Broward County Coalition. I appreciate the forum tonight and the opportunity to share my vision in finding creative solutions to Cecil County problems. Thank you.
If you want to follow up tonight's event and watch summary and highlights from this evening, so you can go on Cecil.tv. It's a fairly new entity, and you'll be able to go online and view the highlights from this evening's program. We're now going to enter into the question phase. With that, Mr. Paulsgrove.
Mr. Carabetta, on your website, the following phrase reads, desires infrastructure expansion where economically feasible and the citizens support the effort. If elected, what would this look like? You have 60 seconds, please.
Very, very simple. Currently, we've done a lot of infrastructure expansion, and we've added very few customers, and this has put a burden of 25% rate increase on the current rate holder. What I would do is look at Route 40, look at where we want it desired, but I'd go in and talk to the property owners. This is something that hasn't been done. It was done in the Carpenter's Point project. We had a vote on it and decided what we wanted to do. They would understand the cost, and the projects would be bonded. They would not be on the backs of the current rate holders like we currently have. And the job would get done because we would look for some grants and state and federal, and this is how we get it done in those areas. We can't put it on the current rate holders. It's going to hurt businesses. Thank you.
We're going to limit the responses here to 30 seconds since the original question was something from his website. So, Mr. McDonald, how would you comment on that response?
So I'm not sure exactly how his plan works. Infrastructure on the backs of the taxpayers, I draw the line. It was brought up earlier tonight that infrastructure is necessary and it needs to be run down Route 40. If we're going to subsidize infrastructure, why don't we subsidize buildings? Why don't we subsidize starting up a business? You have to draw the line somewhere. And I draw the line at subsidizing.
Dr. McCarthy, 30 seconds.
My view is that the infrastructure is probably the most necessary thing to develop this county. I would basically investigate and determine which areas are most likely to be developed very recently. I would basically try to borrow money, if I could, from the state or federal government. If not, I would basically get bond money, and basically I would put it in the infrastructure and ask the residents along the way to hook up to our systems in order to pay for this as we go forward. Without this, we will not be able to develop this country at all. Or the county, excuse me.
Thank you. Mr. Schneckenberger, 30 seconds.
Thank you, Bob. As far as my position on infrastructure, absolutely, you have to use tax dollars to be able to invest in this and then get it paid back as you build connections and users to the system. We had a master water and sewer plan that we revised, county council did, where we allowed everyone, including the municipalities and private municipal suppliers, to provide this infrastructure in a way that we can absolutely get moving.
Thank you.
Dr. McCarthy, a mailer from your campaign says create business-friendly environment. At this moment, is Cecil County government business-friendly? And if not, as county executive, how will you create a business-friendly environment within county government? 60 seconds, please.
I think that I would do this by first evaluating all the departments in the Cecil County government, basically making sure that everyone who works in these positions realizes that the people coming in for permits are basically our citizens. They want to either create something for their home or basically create a new business. We need to streamline it, make it more cost effective, be able to justify every expense that we put them through, and make certain that these things can move forward. If they can't do that, then the people have to firmly know why it can't be done and what is necessary to change it. As far as the government goes, I think that a total audit of the entire system would be certainly appropriate to see where we could have efficiencies of scales, reduction of redundancies, things of this nature, to basically see that the taxpayers are getting a good bang for their buck, and that we basically can grow this county and increase the base, and especially broaden the base throughout this county. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McDonald, would like to comment. 30 seconds, please.
So if you ever tried to do anything as simple as put a deck on the back of your house, you recognize there's inefficiency. We need to work with our departments to help them understand that they are there to help us. They're working there as citizens of the county, but they're there to help us as citizens to accomplish what we need. Now, that goes for business as well as personal. Those inefficiencies exist, and we absolutely.
Mr. Schneckenberger.
My answer to the question is I think we probably try to be business friendly, but we have a lot of room for improvement. We certainly have a very archaic system on getting permits approved or getting answers for taxpayers in the current county form of government, and I am committed to looking for all efficiencies and streamlining moving forward so we can make a bit more business-friendly environment for everybody in the county.
Okay. Mr. Carbetta, 30 seconds, please.
Thank you. I believe in what we need to do for businesses and for the homeowners is that one-stop shopping, especially for business when they come in and they need to deal with multiple departments, zoning, and economic development. We need to have them have one-stop shopping so that that point of contact takes care of that business and they're not running around to different areas. When I worked at Aberdeen, we had the same one-stop shopping. We took care of testing even though it was all over the country, and that's what we need to do here in the county. Thank
you. Mr. McDonald, during a recent political candidates forum, you were quoted as saying, Cecil County should not be in the business of business. Can you please explain what that means?
So,
60 seconds, I'm sorry.
So, the business of business. The incident, the particular thing that I'm speaking about was the Calvert Regional Park. It's supposed to bring in revenue. We're not good at, government is not good at generating revenue. Government's good at taking tax dollars off of taxpayers. But we are not good at business. If you're going to do something that is related to business, we should create a contract with a private company that specializes in that. There is, in fact, I would recommend creating a contract, an incentive-based contract to sell the tournaments that are supposed to generate revenue. Since we already have it, since it's there, let's take advantage of it. And let's create an incentive-based contract for a company to sell those and make sure that we are getting value back for our dollar.
Thank you. Mr. Scheffenberg, would you like to comment on that?
I know at one forum, Mr. McDonald said we did not need an economic development department. Is that the forum we're talking about? If not, I don't understand the park concept. We do have a county regional park of which there are being lacrosse tournaments and other sporting tournaments scheduled by the Parks and Recreation Department, and we do know the first couple have been very profitable, and I hope future ones are also.
Thank you. Mr. Caravetta.
Yes, like I said, the businesses, the best thing we can do for them is get the government out of their business, let the businesses go. We can provide the guidance and the help, but we need to get the government out of their business, get them out of their bank accounts, and let them move forward, and we can provide the infrastructure. I just want to follow up on that question because Mr. Schneckenberger said that we're going to use tax dollars. He should know that it's enterprise funds, it's user dollars to pay for enterprise extension. So that is the end of
that. Thank you. Dr. McCarthy, would you like to comment?
I view this totally differently. I view the Calvert Regional Park and recreational areas as basically assets of the community and quality life issues. I'm in full favor of supporting these things. The amount of money involved is very limited and the gains are astronomical. These children basically are given opportunities to do things other than basically do drugs and basically hang out on the streets. These are organized recreational facilities, and the times I've been there, it looks like an anthill for so many people. Many proud parents, and the proud parents pay the taxes.
Mr. Schneckenberg, on your website it states to repeal and fight off new initiatives from liberal lawmakers who don't respect us in Cecil County. First, can you cite examples of this new initiative that indicate lack of respect for Cecil County? And given the heavily Democratic leadership of the General Assembly, how will you address this issue? 60 seconds.
Wow, 60 seconds. Well, we'll start off with Senate Bill 236, which actually tried to take away property rights and a tier mapping, downzoning of property. Just for an example, we work very much both on council and with the current county executive to mitigate the damage from that property rights bill. and basically held our own and didn't lose any kind of property rights to any farmers or any large parcels of land in the county. We have a TMDL strategy, also called the Watershed Implementation Plan, which has also been very, I would call it an unfunded mandate, and all these are unfunded mandates when they come down from Annapolis, and we're working both with our delegation and both with new secretaries of Governor Hogan's cabinet to try to mitigate that damage so we can minimize any taxpayer funds that have to go to some of these programs.
Mr. Carabetta, you have 30 seconds to respond to that.
Yes, we have to fight these unfunded mandates. I was elected 3 times to the Republican Central Committee, so I'm no stranger to Annapolis. Many of the folks that are in the Hogan administration now grew up with me in the Republican Party in this county, or in this state rather. So there's some doors I can open. I've been probably going to Annapolis longer than the other 3 gentlemen here at the table to find issues down there. So I know my way around, and I think I can work with Democrats and Republicans, and I think we can stop it.
Dr. McCarthy, would you like to respond?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. On Mr. Schneckenberger's website, it states, work with Governor Hogan and legislators to repeal and fight off new initiatives from liberal lawmakers who don't respect us in Cecil County. First, can you cite examples of new initiatives that indicate a lack of respect for Cecil County? And given the heavily Democratic leadership in the General Assembly, how will you address this issue?
My feeling is that Governor Hogan has done truly an admirable job for his first year in this office. The previous administration under Martin O'Malley basically never saw a tax that they didn't like. Governor Hogan has stepped forward with a balanced budget. He's brought in a new administration. I've met each and every one of them, something that did not happen in the previous 3 years when I was a counselor. I think that we're moving forward. I think that the people are behind this man, and I think that if we continue to gain the traction that can't say.
Mr. McDonald, 30 seconds.
So, Mr. Schneckenberger and I are in agreement. We must work with our delegation to prevent these unfunded mandates from coming down to Cecil County. And I imagine these unfunded mandates come down to other counties as well. Partnering with them, making sure that the rural areas of Maryland are heard from and are included in these decisions just as well as the more centrally located parts of Maryland.
Thank you.
For this round of questions, candidates will have 60 seconds to respond. So, Mr. Carabetta, what is your view on the mission of Cecil College? And if elected, how would you help the college realize that vision? 60 seconds, please.
Obviously, this college is an asset to the community. My wife and I have donated for many years to this very theater that we sit in. I think that we have to get involvement with all the players, both businesses, the county, and the state level to help them out. There's only a certain amount of money that's available. We cannot tax the citizens anymore, but we will do everything we can to work with this. And anybody that knows me, I'll stay up till 1, 2 in the morning to help them out if there's a way to do it, or I'll find a way to do it. So that's what I see. It's going to take a lot of determination. We're in this together, and not one person is going to solve this. Thank you.
Mr. McDonald, would you like to comment? 60 seconds, please.
So I attended Cecil here a few years ago, maybe more than a few years ago. I find this is a valuable resource for Cecil County. We need, as executive and as council, we need to make sure that we're supporting Cecil College as well as we are able to. Again, as Mr. Carabetta says, we are unable to hit the taxpayers any further. However, if we do our job as executive, bringing in new businesses and increasing the tax base, then we may be able to send additional resources here to Cecil.
Thank you. Dr. McCarthy, same question?
I would continue to support Cecil College as I have for the last 10 years. As previously mentioned, I'm the treasurer of Cecil College Foundation's funds. I've invested their money very prudently. We've made money the entire time. I've given richly from my own resources. I've supported their efforts in every way that I can. I think this is truly an asset. I think basically this is the type of things that we need in this county. These are quality of life issues. This is a good institution. And as again, when it comes to basically educating students, this is what we need to do. This is a continuation of the Cecil County Public Schools, and we are creating our future right here as we sit and speak. I will support this college as much as I humanly can. Thank you very much.
Mr. Steckenberger, 60 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you, I got here about 6:15, and the park's so far away, I think my car's in a Rising Sun zip code. But that just tells you how busy these classes are around here, and it mentioned how tremendously packed this theater is. So wanted to take a shout out for all of you again for that. But Cecil College is a tremendous asset for Cecil County. The county's invested $28 million in that new beautiful engineering and math building that's now running a lot of different curriculum types, co-curriculums with University of Delaware, Frostburg College. They have a great 2-year program with Salisbury. And I've been briefed on their master plan where they're very much looking for a second entrance for safety on the campus, and I totally support that, and I hope we can find a way to get the funds to be able to invest in that needed infrastructure for the college.
Thank you. Mr. McDonald, as county executive, you must demonstrate the ability to work with all levels of government, federal, state, and on local municipalities. Please cite examples of how you have accomplished this collaboration in the past.
Excuse me. W.L. Ward Associates is one of the great partners here in Cecil County, and I was fortunate enough to be employed there for over 18 years. One of the true hallmarks of Ward is its ability to collaborate. If you have an idea and it requires the participation of someone as a plant leader or a divisional leader, you are able to do so. And having worked 30 seconds, having worked with on projects, many projects inside of Gore, there's cross-divisional, cross-leadership, and those types of projects give me that exact kind of experience that you're speaking about.
Thank you. Dr. McCarthy, would you like me to repeat the question?
Please.
As county executive, you must demonstrate the ability to work with all levels of government, federal, state, and local municipalities. Please cite examples of how you have accomplished the collaboration in the past.
The example I would give you, number one, is Pierce's Creek. This was a location on the eastern shore at not Carpenter's Point, but Bayview Estates. In this particular case, we work with the federal government, the state government, Maryland Department of the Environment, with the Army Corps of Engineers, with Cecil County, in order to bring water to those citizens. We also basically increased the size and cleaned up their dredge spoil site. Second thing I might give you, I work with the mayor of Elkton, Maryland, to create a sewage discharge system for the YMCA. They basically have been on a septic system for the last 15 years, and in the last 6 months we've got them on that. Also, I brought forward and got natural gas into the town of Northeast, which has basically been on hold for over 5 years. These are just a few of the many things that I've done that have not been published to basically show that I'm quite capable of dealing with multifaceted government regulations and collaborating.
Mr. Schneckenberger, would you like me to repeat the question?
No. Actually, just last year, Bainbridge Development Corporation, an area I'm very interested in. This is a large parcel of land, 1,200 acres, former Navy base. As you can see, Bob Meffley's family grew up there, but it's tremendously important in its economic development impact in Cecil County. And meanwhile, we still had an issue with the Department of Navy with remaining contamination when it was a Navy base. And we were being stymied by lawyers with the Maryland Department of Environment. And these guys were basically negotiating against us. And when I found out about it, I reached down to the Lieutenant Governor's office, Boyd Rutherford, made some calls down there, and very good very good colleagues and relationships down there. He came up to Cecil County. We met for an hour and a half with the Bainbridge Development Corporation. Within 3 days, we had the Maryland Department of Environment and their secretary working on behalf of the BDC, and now a lot of good things are happening at that site, and we're moving forward.
Yes, obviously, working on the federal level, I spent 34 years in the federal level, so when it comes to relationships made with STEM programs and other programs in the county, there's doors that I can open at Avenue Proving Ground and other federal installations. I've been no stranger. I've been following Cecil County government, been an active participant at county meetings for over 25 years in taking part in the process, and also in town elections. I know the mayors, I know where the towns are, and I can get things done with these people. It's a good thing for all of us to work together as a team to get these projects that we need done. Thank you.